Hello, everybody. I'm sure there's some out there that I haven't talked to or seen in a while, so welcome. Um, we wanted to do something to acknowledge World Myositis Day, which is actually September the 21st. And we thought, well, one of the best things we could do is bring one of our favorite and biotech companies to the forefront to let you understand a little bit more about biotech in Europe and to let you know a little bit more about Galapagos, that has been a partner of MSU since 2022. We have a deep partnership. Actually, I feel like Galapagos and the people who work there are more like family to us. And so I wanted to give, and we wanted to give you the opportunity to meet part of our family that's in Europe. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Zoltan Koleszar, who is a patient advocate leader with Galapagos. And he's going to tell you some more about the company history, basically Galapagos story. And we'll also have some information about their dermatomyositis clinical trial called Clarissimo. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Zoltan.
Thank you very much, Lynn, for the nice words. Very much appreciate that, and same vice here. We also feel that as one of the very important patient organization here MSU we are working together with is really at the bit of a personal story. And the other day we have just had to create a quiz about our small team. We are a team of 4 person, and actually we have asked the audience what do you think what makes the day for a patient advocacy leader. And actually the answer from our end was that when we have the chance to talk with a patient or a patient organization, that's really the nice part of the day, I would say. So thanks very much and welcome everyone. I do appreciate that you have joined to this webinar. Let me introduce myself briefly. I am Zoltan Koleszar. I am patient advocacy leader working for 4 years at Galapagos. I have 20 plus years experience within the clinical trial field. Actually, I am pharmacist as a background, and I am based in Hungary. So let me share with you my presentation, where I would like to introduce to you our company and a bit explain how we are creating and developing the informed consent form in our company. And later on I will be able to share with you a pre-recorded session with NFU, our medical director, around our ongoing clinical trial within the dermatomyositis field. So before we start, a short disclaimer to all of you. Actually, our company is a small biotech based in Belgium, and our headquarters is in Mechelen. We would like to identify molecules and various treatments, drugs, which could a bit change the quality of the life of the patient and increase the number of years in a good quality. As you can imagine, each company has a nice history. Our history has started in 1999 when the Galapagos was founded, and I would say a very important element here happened a couple of years ago when a bit the structure of the company has also changed. Paul Stoffels has been appointed as a CEO and chairman in 2022, and with a certain acquisition, we have started to work on the CAR-T field. as well. So we have started to develop a new arm, the oncology arm within the company. I'm happy to share a bit with you later on. And we have had a drug on the market called Jyseleca, which has been transferred to Alpha Sigma. And currently we are having two important areas. One is the immunology and the other one is the oncology area. This is our leadership team who are really driving the company for a successful future. And actually just certain figures around the company. We have 600 plus employees, and we have certain operations in the US as well as in a few countries in Europe. The main items for the company is really pioneering for patients. The important element for ourselves to co-create a lot of elements of the clinical development with the patients. Just to give you a couple of examples here, that we have a working relationship with 7 patient organizations currently. And we are developing certain protocols together with patient organizations, some patient-facing materials. We are organizing focus groups to get input from the patients for those items. Other than that, we have a very strong patient engagement council, which has a very well-driven agenda to drive the drug development within the company. So I think what you can see on this slide, that's really cover how our company is thinking strategically about this entire drug development. Actually, as I have mentioned, we have different areas in place currently within the dermatomyositis area. We have the small molecule in the development. I will share with you later on certain thoughts around that, and will share certain thoughts about that trial itself. And we have a CAR-T therapy, which we are quite proud of. Here you can see our pipeline. So within the immunology field, we have this 3667 molecule, which is in phase 2 at the moment in the SLE and in the dermatomyositis. We have some other programs within the inflammatory field, and also, as you can see, we are having this CAR-T CD19 in the NHL and in the CLL. Within the NHL, we are in phase 2, and within the CLL, we are in phase 1 with that. Actually, we have quite a few companies we are working in close collaboration with. And we have a pretty good collaboration agreement in place with Gilead for the various developments. And also we are working in partnership with Lonza, with ImmuneBio, with Thermo Fisher, and with BCA on our CAR-T development, while we had certain acquisitions and equity investment with the CellPoint and the ImmuneBio and Frontier. So that's where our development is coming from and how it's supported. However, the company itself is pretty proud that we have certain drugs which is really coming from our brain area. So that's an own development for the company. Actually, those are the elements which I have previously shared with you. So what kind of main interest and areas we do have in place within the field of the oncology during these days. And next to that, we are pretty proud on our Galapagos T-cell manufacturing platform, which is at the right-hand side, this decentralized production, which ensure that next to the bed of the patient, we can deliver the fresh cells, the fresh CAR T cells with a 7-day vein-to-vein time. We really hope that all the various clinical trials in this field will be successful. As in the immunology field, as I have mentioned, two main areas, the dermatomyositis and the SLE, where we are running the 3667 clinical trial during these days. It's in phase 2, so that's still a pretty early phase. And yeah, our fingers are crossed that we will have good results about that trial. Actually, as you can imagine, we have all the trusted partners, and as Lynn mentioned earlier, we do work together in close collaboration with patients and patient organizations. Happy to hear that MSU feels like a family member, and we really try to ensure that all the various steps of the development are doing throughout the co-creation. We have a small team of patient advocacy within the company. However, I would say that's a very important team, and our voice is really listened, even by our CEO time to time. So I personally thanks for MSU that we have such a good partnership in place, and I'm really hoping that it will last for a long time. Actually, that's all around the company. So that's our tagline, pioneering for patients. At the next part of my presentation, let me share with you how we are developing the informed consent form for the clinical trials. As you probably know, the informed consent form itself is a very important document. This is the very first document which is signed by any patient throughout the clinical trial. Maybe many of you has participated already in a clinical trial or have heard around, and you know how the informed consent or what kind of impact that could have. It's a highly regulated area, so we have various regulations like ICH-GCP, like EU CTR, like your US FDA regulations, and also the GDPR within the Europe, which is really informing and requesting us to be compliant with, and all our informed consent are prepared according to these guidelines. It's important to mention that, from one side, we have all these regulatory requirements. Next to that, we would like to ensure as a company that the informed consent itself is understandable for someone with an elementary school education as well. So the health literacy impact and the health literacy part of the informed consent is a very important factor for us as a company. Actually, the entire procedure to develop an informed consent is pretty much regulated within our company as well. We have SOPs for that. We have certain checklists for that. We do need to ensure that, the health literacy guides are incorporated. Because of that, we have certain templates, which templates had been reviewed by various patients and patient communities upfront to ensure that it's easy to understand. And next to that, each and every consent is going through on certain patient review. So any specific disease patients are reviewing their own informed consent throughout the informed consent preparation process. And that's partly the area where we are working together with the patient organizations. The format of the consent, as you can imagine, could be a paper version or could be also e-consent during these days. There are pros and cons. Just to share with you a very interesting element, when I have visited a pediatric site, the doctor mentioned to me that they do prefer the e-consent because in that particular country, that was in Croatia, both parents need to sign the consent, however, not necessarily need to be present physically. So the e-signature is approved by from one parent, and the other parent need to be physically there. So as you can imagine, there is also a lot of benefit for an e-consent. However, in many areas and in many countries, I still see that the consent itself is a paper-based document. Actually, the content is pretty much restricted. What we need to have within the informed consent, like the study risk, the benefit, the purpose, the study duration, the location, the number of visits, the number of assessments, and so on and so forth, as you can see here on this slide. We are having a lot of templates for the informed consents, and as you can see here, there are certain mandatory informed consents and there are some optional ones. Depends on the studies. Each and every template has been reviewed by certain patients beforehand, so we are using them for our informed consent development purpose. And as you can see here, for the various trials and for the various purpose, like parents, for pediatric patients and so on, we have various consents and also the optional ones. Actually, the process itself, I not necessarily would like to go into the details, just would like to inform you that it's done together with the CRO. So actually we are creating the master version within a certain pharmaceutical company, and I think that's pretty much the same almost everywhere. And then at the next steps, the CRO or the sites just amend those according to their needs. What is very important for any of you to know, that each and every informed consent which is used during these days within any clinical trial is being submitted for approval for an IRB and also for the country-specific regulatory body. And we are allowed to use the informed consent as a patient-facing material only if we have the full approval in place. In many cases, what we can see that the IRBs or ethics committees in Europe or the regulatory bodies are really asking ourselves to change certain language within the informed consent to be as smooth and as patient-friendly as possible. And during these days, what we can also see that more and more regulatory bodies are really asking how the preparation has happened, whether we have involved patient into the ICF preparation or not. actually, those are the steps for the master informed consent preparation. I not necessarily would like to spend a lot of time on this. However, I would like to share with you certain example screenshots. So as you can see, this is a real informed consent for an adult around the clinical trial, which is whatsoever. And we have certain very nice informed consents for the various child age group. We have some for the non-readers, we have some for the so-called pre-readers, and we have some other for the teenagers, because they themselves also need to be aware of what's happening within a clinical trial, why they have been involved, and how that could impact, of course, their life, their treatment, and so on. So, and they need to sign off it, even though in many countries it's not a legally binding sign off, but that's still a requirement. And of course, in that case, the parents need to sign that as well, based on the country regulations. How the future could look like, what we can see, that there are certain guidance coming from the FDA time to time on the informed consent preparation. We would like to ensure that the patients are reviewing our informed consent appropriately. Within the company, we have an e-consent pilot in place during these days, so we are thinking around that how we can expand into that area. And what we can see, as I have mentioned to you, that more and more ethics committees are expecting that certain patients are reviewing those informed consent. Usually that's done throughout various patient organizations. I think that's all from my end. Thank you very much. I am happy to give the floor to Jessica, who can start a video, which is a pre-recorded video by NFU, who is our medical director, and she's sharing certain thoughts around our ongoing clinical trial.
Hello, I'm Anfie. Today I'm going to give you a short introduction to the Galapagos study, which is a Galapagos company study. Galapagos is a Belgium-based biotechnology company. The main domains of innovation and activity are in oncology and inflammation. Galapagos is a clinical study in dermatomyositis. The naming of clinical studies at Galapagos is often related to the Galapagos Islands, part of Ecuador, and can reflect the typical fauna and flora from there. Galarissa is named after a dolphin, Risso's dolphin, who typically has scars all over his body. The Galarissa study is also known as GLPG 3667 CL214. GLPG stands for Galapagos, and GLPG 3667 is the molecule that is being evaluated in the study. 214 is the internal Galapagos number of the study, and the 2 relates to the fact that it's a phase 2 study. The study is registered on clinicaltrial.gov and EU platform under the numbers you can see here. Typically, a phase 2 study is in a set number of people, so not a large study, includes only patients who have the condition the treatment is looking to treat, and looks whether the drug, the molecule, is likely to work, in which dose, and if it's generally safe. GLPG 367 is a novel molecule. It is given as an oral once-daily dose. It is an inhibitor of an enzyme called tyrosine kinase, TYK2, which is involved in inflammatory and autoimmune diseases. It is currently under evaluation for the treatment of inflammatory and autoimmune diseases such as dermatomyositis and systemic lupus erythematosus. Dermatomyositis is an autoimmune disease affecting mainly the skin and the muscle and can severely impact patients' daily life in functioning, quality of life, but it also impacts several organ systems. There is a significant unmet need for effective and convenient treatment options. The study is designed as having 4 periods and may last up to 56 weeks. The first period is a screening period of 4 weeks to find out if the study is right for you. You have to be 18 to 75 years of age and have been diagnosed with dermatomyositis for at least 3 months. Your study doctor will review all inclusion and exclusion criteria before deciding whether the study is right for you. A double-blind period of 24 weeks follows if you are selected for the study and agree to participate. In this period, you will receive either GLPG 3667 or a placebo. This looks like GLPG 3667 but does not contain any active drug. This is by random, meaning by chance, and double-blind means neither you or your study doctor knows what you're taking. And this is taken in addition to your current treatment for dermatomyositis, so you are allowed to take certain standard of care, and your study doctor will know which standard of care, which current treatments are allowed in the study or not. Then there is an open label extension of 24 weeks. And here you will take GLPG 3667 for 24 weeks if your study doctor thinks you may benefit from this. And then there is a follow-up period of 4 weeks without treatment. In the Galapagos study, there are study assessments and procedures, and your study doctor will perform some tests and clinical assessments to see if you qualify for a clinical study. This is the screening period as previously described. The study team will explain the possible benefits and risks of participating in the study. Your health will be monitored closely during the study, and the study doctor will see you regularly to check if you have any side effects. There are study assessments and procedures that are specific for disease and for this study, and they're aimed to be able to evaluate the efficacy and the safety of the molecule. They may include muscle testing by your study doctor, your study doctor's evaluation of your disease severity, disease activity. You will do an evaluation how severe you perceive your disease. You will also score your disease activity and your evaluation of the impact of your disease on daily health activities. Health Assessment Questionnaire Index, this is also done by the patient. And then the evaluation of laboratory parameters looking at muscle damage, typically looking at muscle enzymes. And other assessments may be and are included like blood pressure measurement, recording of tracing of the heart, blood analysis looking at liver function, kidney function, etc. If you want to find out more about the study and the participating sites, you can consult Galapagos Clinical Trial Portal or clinicaltrial.gov. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yes, thank you. And I was going to say, there was some questions that were submitted ahead of time. So the first one was impactful collaboration for new creative ideas based on info we provide you. The topic of many conversations is a struggle we have with insurance. Paying for expensive medications, we are always struggling, and this is a hurdle we don't need. That was the first. So any thoughts that you wanted to add on to that one?
Yeah, actually, we do understand that concern and that issue as a company. No question about that. Yeah, that's
unfortunate. I think it's an issue that everybody faces. Okay. Looking for maintenance medications that tackle the I can't say that word, exasperated aspect of dermatomyositis. Did I say that right?
Yes, actually, MFU, our medical director, had made certain research on that to answer for this question. I think we will be able to provide the link to yourself. So what she shared with me, that photo-exacerbated aspects of dermatomyositis is mainly based on preventive measures like sun lotions, clothing, and so on, and avoidance of medication that can exacerbate photosensitivity. And she has provided a very interesting link where you can find more information, which is actually a sub-page of the MSU. So the Understanding Myositis.org, so the MSU webpage. I'm happy to share that with the audience later on.
Excellent. And I love that our own page happened to be one of the pages she found, and with a great links about sun protection. So that's awesome.
For sure.
Okay, I'm interested to learn how lay input was successfully embedded in the ICF whilst efficiently mitigating potential litigation risks and challenges we see with this document.
Yeah, my colleague Manuela Chieli, who is also a patient advocacy leader, is working in this field of the ICF preparation for our company for many years now. And the answer what she has provided to me, that Galapagos has developed templates for clinical trial ICF together with an organization specialized in health literacy. This organization also performed the testing of the draft template by interviewing up to 40 people from the public, not necessarily all patients. Then this patient input was used to finalize the template. In the next step, the template I used to make the study-specific ICF for our currently ongoing dermatomyositis study. As I have explained, we have asked some dermatomyositis patients to review the ICF. The comments we have received were implemented as much as possible into the current study-specific ICF. Some comments affected more the templates, and those have been later also been implemented in the templates where they were updated. And also another important aspect, that as Galapagos we still see challenges mostly with the ethics committees, who highly rely on a standard language that they like to see in the ICF, and this standard language usually comes in conflict with the health literacy language we use in our ICFs. So it's very clearly explained the area what I have just shown you earlier, that we do need to find a balance between the regulatory requirement and the health literacy to easy to understand ICF, and yeah, we are just trying to do our best to ensure that's happening. Yeah,
Understand. Very complicated, trying to make everything and everyone happy. It says, I'm interested in learning more, especially as a dermatomyositis patient with IDL and anti-synthetase syndrome.
Yeah, actually, I didn't get the answer from Anne for that, but hope she will be able to provide that to me soon.
Sure.
And we are happy to share that with the team as well, with the final answers.
Fabulous. Thank you. It says, I have dermatomyositis and autoantibodies associated with an increased incidence of cancer. I would like to know where to find more information on this topic and how it relates, and on this topic, and understand how this research relates.
Absolutely. Again, Anne has made certain review on that, and she was able to identify a quite useful web link. So what she shared with me, that information can be found at that web link, and of course at other sources. And she really stressed, as herself is a trained medical doctor, that it is recommended to talk to your treating physician if you want to know more about this. However, I am happy to share with you those two links later on.
Okay. Fantastic. And those wraps up our Q&A. I'll turn this back over to Lynn for final thoughts to wrap up.
Thank you, Jessica. I did put a couple of links in the chat, which were related to our extensive information that we have on dermatomyositis, about sun protection, and DM also links. I would encourage not only everybody to look at that. We do have a little bit on cancer and the relationship with like ASYS, and a lot on antibodies in the on the website. So there's that too that you can look at. Quite extensive. If you have any other questions that can't be answered by either by Zoltan or the medical team at Galapagos, we're happy to take questions. Manuel and I, unfortunately, Manuel is not here, and that's my go-to guy because he's got his PhD in immunology, and I'm only a patient with dermatomyositis, but I don't totally understand the cell mechanism around some of these drugs. So it would not be the right thing for me to even begin to go to try to tell you some of the things that I think I know about it, because that's not the purpose of this meeting. I would say overall that there's a couple of things that I have, thoughts I have on what Zoltan has talked about, and that's that what we are trying to do right now, and you'll see more of this in next year, is understand the landscape of clinical trials that are ongoing now, and new things that are coming along. And everybody has talked about CAR T as the new bright shiny star. It's a form of precision medicine, and everybody's talking about it, and there's a lot of hope around that. But there's a lot of misunderstanding around it too. And one of the things that we're trying to do is use this type of webinar as a platform for helping you understand better about what's coming down the road in terms of clinical trials, better awareness about what the process is, the procedures, and better understanding of what goes on in a clinical trial, so that you, as a patient, can make better informed decisions about your health and about the opportunities that are out there to take to participate in clinical trials, because it's a risk-benefit issue. Is a clinical trial going to be something that will help you improve the quality of your life? We know that it's not a question anymore about finding a cure right now, because a cure is not going to come down the road in a few, it could be another 10 years or so. It's a question about learning to live with your dermatomyositis or your inclusion body myositis. It's about your journey, and how we at MSU and companies like Galapagos can help make that journey better and improve the quality of life, so that we'll never be back to normal. I'm in remission and I'm not normal anymore. I'm not back to where I wanted to be. But we're here to help do what we can do with our webinars and our series and the work that we're moving forward in research, to make sure that we're there with you as we try to navigate this horrible disease. So I'm hoping that we can use this as a starting point. And if you have any questions, you can send them to Jessica or send them to research. at understanding myositis.org, or send them to me, or send them to Manuel. But in the future, that's what you will be seeing, is more webinars on how we can navigate the world that we have to live in right now. And also what's coming down the road, so you can make informed decisions about the new things like CAR T. So I thank you for your understanding, and thank you for being here today. And Zoltan, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And I will guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Very much, and yeah, it's my great pleasure, and that was really the happy moment for me that I was able to talk to you.
Yeah.
And see you, Lynn, in a couple of weeks. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you on the next one. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye.